What up? Can you hear me? This is my first live stream that I have ever run. Well, I did some tests in the last couple of days. Can you hear me? This is my first live stream that I have ever run. Well, I did some tests in the last couple of days. What up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? This- okay, I might as well light my camera up here. There I am. I'm obviously going to wait a few minutes to really get going. Um, Leave a comment wherever you're watching if you can hear me. Mohammed on LinkedIn, how are you? Have you used Voice Changer before, Mohammed? And if so, tell me like what you've used it for and what you like to do with it. Let me turn on one of my other fancy cute lights. I bought the lights. I might as well use them, right? Right there. How's that look? Just a little extra flair on the wall. Oh, Simon, since we're just getting started, let me show you what I've created here. This right here. Oh, I hope you can hear this, guys. And I hope it doesn't double. This is the one item I think might like double play. But here we go. You probably can't hear that. Let me go back because I can't hear it either. I think this is going to double play. Oh, come on. Oh, I got to turn it up like this. I think this is the one piece of audio that I think will double play.
Hey Brad, it's Simon. Just wanted to give you a quick pep talk before your demo today. You've been doing this your whole life. Talking, connecting, making people feel something with your voice. Today is just another version of that. Yes, this is your first solo live stream, but that doesn't change who you are. The audience isn't showing up because they expect a perfect version of you. They just want to hear about Voice Changer because they love it just like you do. Take a breath. You know this material. You love this material. Go have fun.
Now, you might hear that and go, ha ha, that's cute, Brad. But Simon knows from our many chats that I often need a little pep talk like that. It's funny because I've been in radio my whole life, and when I was younger, when I was like 16, is when I started in radio. I was almost 17, and when I started, maybe I was nervous just because it was brand new, but I was like, I don't know if I was just, I don't know what I think it was just the fact that I didn't know what I was doing wrong just made me absolutely fearless. And if there was a microphone lying around somewhere, I was like, I want to be on that microphone. If I went to an event that somebody else was hosting, I was like, this is so boring. I don't want to listen to somebody else talk. I want to get up there and talk. That's how I was when I was 16, when I was 20. And then as I got older and I think realized the importance of everything that I was doing, not just for myself, but also for like, feeding my family or as a radio DJ, you often are working to help a local business succeed. And so I started to think about the impact that I would have on how things went for them and their families. So I started like taking the weight of it and the responsibility of it. And like much later in life, like somewhere around 35 years old or something like that, I started getting nervous for stuff. Not for being in the studio and doing my radio show in the studio. That was always chill. I could always do that. But going out and doing live broadcasts or you know, uh even like getting on stage at an elementary school and talking to that crowd. I would get super nervous for it sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And Simon knows that I can definitely do that. So I that's why I made that little piece there. Okay, wait a minute. I hear Lewis says I can't hear you. Um oh, can't hear that. Okay, did it go? It did. Okay, it did go eventually. Yes, Simon, do you like that? And right, Simon, like you will. Simon's on. You guys will see Simon if you're on LinkedIn. You have you've had to give me those pep talks many times, right? Let me move this mic just a little bit so I'm more centered in my little screen here. Okay, so that's a little bit on me and my background, and let me say this too: how I found Eleven Labs and how I got started using Eleven Labs, is, and in particular, Voice Changer. Um, I had a I actually said something to a friend about like I wish there was a, and I described it, and he came back I think a day later, a week later, or whatever, and goes, "Here it is." And I get the link to Eleven Labs, and I'm like, "What?" And I start using it. I'm messing around with the text to speech. I'm dazzled by that. But then I get into Voice Changer right away. One of the first things I start messing with, and I was like a kid in a candy store. And I truly felt the way that I felt when I found Eleven Labs Voice Changer. I felt the way that I felt when I first got into radio. When I first got into radio, just I was almost 17 years old. I was in high school in the United States, and I I couldn't believe I got to be in that room, be able to play with all those toys, all the reel to reel and the microphones and all of the music beds that I could put behind, or the sound effects and the things that I could create. And asked my boss, "Hey, even when I'm not on the clock and not working, can I just come play in the production room?" He's like, "Yeah, don't break anything, don't get in anybody's way. Obviously, don't, make sure we can trust you, that all that stuff, but sure, have at it." And I would do it for hours. I'm sure my grades at school suffered immensely because of it. But I had so much fun. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. I had so much fun, and I haven't felt that way for 30 years until I found Eleven Labs, and then I started playing with Voice Changer. Oh, my camera went away. Sorry. Hang on. What happened? Let me go back. I got a notification or something. There we go. Sorry about that. I thought I had all notifications turned off. Anyway, I I started playing with Voice Changer all the time, and it was so much fun. So I would make silly little skits that I was sending to my friends, and then I started making actual like professional content with it, like radio commercials. And I might as well go there first. You know what though? I do want to say one thing before I get into using it like in a studio atmosphere. To anybody who's like, "Well, what if I don't have a studio?" Um, I, I with Voice Changer, I really do think you can um, use the voice recording app on your iPhone or on your Android, the voice memos, the default voice memos app. You can record your source audio on that and upload it to Eleven Labs in a pinch, and it's so usable. It's definitely worthy. Um, so I got a call one time. This is a great example of the power of Eleven Labs Voice Changer. I got a call one time from a friend while I was in another state in the United States. I was on a little road trip or whatever, and I was in a mall parking lot, or I was in a store at the mall, and she goes, "Hey, can you get me some voiceover today? Are you in your studio today?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not. Dang it! What do you got going on? Just curious. What do you got going on?" And she says, "I need like the movie guy voice for a furniture store." And I was like, "You know what? Give me a sec. Send me the script. Let me see what I can do. Give me 30 minutes." It took me less than 30 minutes. It took me 15 minutes. She sent me the script. I went out into my car and I recorded the voiceover on Voice Memos app on the iPhone, uploaded it to Eleven Labs, converted it over to a movie guy voice, sent it to her. She was like, "Yep, that's it. How do I Venmo you?" Like, she was, it was perfect. It was professional quality for a commercial that they were doing. And I want to give you guys a chance to do that. So there's one little risk that I'm taking here as far as my technical situation, and that is so it's this. So I'm gonna give you guys a second to look at this. Open up the little app on your phone if you want to try this, and record that audio right there with the voice recorder app on your phone. And then I want you to upload that file. I think this will work. Go to upload.heyitsbrad.com. No www, just upload.heyitsbrad.com. If you want to record that, send it to me, and then I'm going to put it through the voice guy. But here's the thing. Do your impression of the movie guy. Talk as best as you can like the movie guy. I will leave that up for just a second. Or you know what? Screenshot it. I'll give you a second to screenshot it so that you've got it so I can move on. And again, it's upload.heyitsbrad.com. Okay, let's go to the ElevenLabs website. And if you haven't been to Voice Changer before, it's right there. Here's the menu over here on the left. I'm going to click on Voice Changer. And this is where you would click to upload your, what you're recording, or you could click record audio. And I've done it that way before too. I've actually clicked record audio and done Voice Changer that way. And that works great too. For whatever reason, I like to do it all in advance and get it all, know that I've got it figured out and before I upload it. And then you would go over to settings and choose the voice that you want to go to. Looks like last time I did a voice changer, I used Jessica Ann Bogart, Eloquent Villain. Let's go over to, I'm going to go to Adobe Audition. And this is my first time running a live, so I'll be a little clunky as I'm changing screens, I think. But here's Adobe Audition. This is my DAW, which I believe stands for Digital Audio Workstation. If you saw my live or not my live, but if you saw the feature that I did with Alec Wilcock on the ElevenLabs YouTube, you've heard this piece of audio before. Lost in the echo of everything we knew. My love is waiting for you. It's time to get up. You're locked in.
You're waking up with the boys. This is Alec and Brad in the morning.
Number one for hip hop and R&B.
Q108.
This is Q108. Tune in now.
You know what time it is. Time. Walked in the spot.
So another thing that I want to say about that piece of audio right there is that everything you heard right there was generated on ElevenLabs. Every single element that you heard right there was generated on ElevenLabs. And I won't get into 11 Music. Maybe I will in a future live. There are definitely people using it a lot cooler than I am, but it's always cool to see how somebody else is using it, because even if they're not as advanced as you, they might have some little idea that you're like, I want to take that with me. Let's listen though to the imaging track only. I'm going to solo that out. All of these items generated on ElevenLabs. Isn't that crazy? I did that on the sound effects. Let me go back to that screen for a second. Go back to ElevenLabs. Again, sorry, I won't spend too much time talking about stuff that's not Voice Changer. I'll get back to Voice Changer. But over here in the menu, if you click on sound effects, I would just put whoosh, whoosh. And then I would go 1.2 seconds and turn off the help me and hit go. So it's just, that's all I put was whoosh. And I get, and let me go to, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for being off topic. I don't know who I'd get in trouble from. All of you, I guess. Glitch. Let's make a glitch sound. Oh, I'm going to call it radio sound design. Generate. I'm not searching these items. I'm not grabbing these out of a database. These are being generated before our eyes with those very simple commands. And then in 11 Music, I won't click over to that because I can just tell you. But then in 11 Music, let's see if I can grab this and drop it back here. That's where I generated stuff like this, the little example song. I wanted for this little demo, I wanted the end of a song and then the radio imaging and then the beginning of the next song. So I generated these songs just for the demo use.
Lost in the echo of everything we knew. My love is waiting for you.
And then the new the going into song.
You know what time it is. I walked in the spot looking like a check.
So cool. And that is music version 1. That's not even music version 2. It's even cooler now. Like it'll do faster rapping now. Really cool. Okay, let me show you. Let's talk voice changer. You're here for voice changer. Let's talk voice changer. It starts with the Brad version. Let's solo out the Brad version. It's time to get up. Notice I did an impersonation. Like I was thinking I'm going to turn this into, I don't know, a kid or a girl or just somebody who's a little more animated than I am, you know? So that's why I delivered it like, it's time to get up. It's time to get up. And then I dropped it into, in fact, you know what? Watch this. I'll show you right here and now. I'm going to mix that down, or I can probably just go like this. Click it on here, save selection as, and I'm going to drop it into my ambassador chat today. Go. And then I can come back to here and drag so that you guys can see. Sorry that I'm saying all this out loud. Running the board by myself. Matthew. That's how I say it, right? Matthew. Thank you. Matthew on LinkedIn says, "You look so comfortable for your first live stream, Brad." And I have to admit, I was nervous. I was so nervous. But now that we're going, I'm feeling good. Everybody can hear everything. Everything's working okay. I've heard from LinkedIn. I've heard from, I think I've only heard from LinkedIn. Can anybody on X say what up, or on YouTube, to let me know that you can hear me and see me there too? Okay, so now I'm going to go back to ElevenLabs and go to Voice Changer. And I'm going to open up that It's Time to Get Up piece. Okay, let's turn it into the most famous voice in the world. Mark Natural Conversations. I don't know. This is not, because Mark doesn't sound anything like this. Here's Mark. Hang on. Let's hear him right there.
I think this is a really nice way to just talk naturally together, talk plainly. Let's give it a shot.
The most famous voice in the world right there. Let's use him. One thing that I always do when I first use Voice Changer, I go 11 multilingual V2, and I always click reset values just in case. Now, sometimes you click reset values, and I'm predicting when I click it here, nothing's going to move. But sometimes you click reset values and you realize the sliders were all over the place as far as stability, similarity, and style exaggeration. So I'm going to click reset. See, they didn't even move. They were fine. But sometimes, even when you first pull up the voice, it opens up with, and I don't know why it opens with, I don't know if it's like from the last time you used the voice or the recommended settings for that voice. I don't know what it is, but I always like to hit reset values. If the engineers are watching and they're like, "No, Brad, that is not how you should do it," please let me know. If you're like, "No, go with the one that it drops you first because there's something magical happening, that's the best version you're going to get," that maybe that's the case. So I'm going to hit generate speech, and you're going to hear my "It's Time to Get Up" turn into Mark. Here we go.
It's time to get up.
Oh my gosh.
It's time to get up.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't sound like me. One thing I've noticed is if you, you know what I'm going to have right now? I hope it's not going to be annoying, but little tip. These things, they're called Grethers black currant, but they are like when your mouth is dry and sticky. I chew on these when I'm making voices, actually, or if I'm doing a really important voiceover. No, that'll be annoying to you guys. Not doing that. Anyway, those are good. So if you have heard a voice a lot, if you're really familiar, like if you're a podcast listener to somebody and you're really familiar with their voice, you're a lot pickier about like, wait a second, no, that doesn't sound like you. But if you're not as familiar with a voice, you might go, yeah, cool, that sounds like you. I've definitely noticed that before because I'll hear somebody use voice changer and I go, whoa, yeah, or I'll hear them create their voice clone and then they'll make audio with it and or like an instant voice clone for instance and they'll say it's not quite me but it's pretty darn good and I'll be on the other end going to me it sounded exactly like you know. Same with when you generate image using one of the LLM models or whatever. I'll go, whoa, that looks just like you. And they'll say, yeah, it doesn't quite look like me because of this or this. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so. Now let's go back to the Adobe Audition. And, I'm going to peek over also at the chat and see, yep, you guys can hear me on X. That's great. If you have any questions, if you're like, hey, show me a little bit more of that, I will do, or like, show me that slower or whatever. Okay, cool. Everything's looking good on the chat though. Let me go back to Adobe Audition. And just let you hear those other two examples. So like here's me on the and again I'm doing an impression of the voice that I think I'm going to turn it into.
You're waking up with the boys.
And then I turned that into
You waking up with the boys.
And oh, by the way, the reason that sounds so crispy is because I put that effect on that channel. That's an effect that I added to that channel. Let's go back to me again.
This is Alec and Brad. This is Alec and Brad in the morning.
And hear just that one.
This is Alec and Brad in the morning.
Again, I have like a tunnel effect on that. I think this one has Jessica and Bogart on it. This is Q108. That's my sample. So when I recorded it, I was like, this is Q108. And then I turned it into Jessica.
This is Q108.
And again, here's the whole thing again.
It's time to get up. You're locked in.
Oh, wait, let me mute me.
Just waiting for you. It's time to get up. You're locked in.
You waking up with the boys. This is Alec and Brad in the morning.
Number one for hip hop and R&B.
Q108.
This is Q108.
Tune in now.
You know what time it is. Time.
Let me say another thing about 11 Music version 2, just to throw this out there in case it's helpful to anybody. Because I wonder how many people watching right now are in radio, who are like, oh, I want to use ElevenLabs with radio, which what a huge opportunity. I mean, I seriously want to walk into every radio station and say, can anyone join me in the conference room right now and let me show you what tool is out there right now that exists that you could be using? Because when I started in radio and I would be alone in the production room making a commercial, all I could do was do a voice of a grandpa, and now I can like just voice it like myself, not do something so cartoony, but do something where I go, I'm doing a voice of a grandpa, something that's a little more regular for me, but then convert it over into a real grandpa. What a huge opportunity. Okay, so let me go to, I know I was starting to say something and then I derailed myself and I forgot what it was, but oh well. I'm going to close this and I'm going to open up. Let me close everything in here. Close all. I'm curious if anybody dropped. Oh, yeah. Look who did. Simon dropped the furniture. So, okay. Remember I told you that the friend um, said, "Hey, Brad, can you get me the movie guy voice for this furniture commercial that I'm doing?" And I wasn't home, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me try something." And I hadn't tried it before, and I went out to the car and I opened up the native iPhone app for recording, which is the voice memos app. I don't know if you can see that. Let me make sure I'm still on screen too, because my phone. Okay, cool. I am. I just opened it up. Looks like that when it's open. Oh, let me do this. Sorry. Looks like that when it's open. And then you hit the little red dot and now it's recording. See my little needles moving because it's recording as I'm talking. That's all I did. And I've learned, by the way, that you can't, if you do like this, you're going to get all kinds of plosives, all kinds of p, 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 p. So you got to back off just a little bit and record it like this. And even though this recording that I'm making right here on the phone, even though, oh, I think my screen just went dead. You know what? I don't know what to do to make it so that my screen doesn't go dead, you guys. Hang on. Sorry. Come back to me, my friend. Um, there it goes. Right. Right. Nope, almost. Sorry. Oh well. There it is. Yay. Okay. I will figure that out for next time. Sorry. What did I just do? Oh, it's that button on the phone that I am like, why did they even create that one? The like extra action button that's for your camera. The only time I hit that button is by accident. I never use, and it's got like, oh, you can slide up and down the side of that button and it'll zoom in, zoom out. I never use it for that. The only thing I use that button for is to screw up things that I'm trying to do. Okay. Um, okay, so Simon says that the audio he sent it was just recorded on his webcam. I love it, even better. So let's go back to here and we will drop in Simon. There it is. I'm going to, oh wait, I gotta make it so you guys can see it. I'm sorry. Let me go like this. I'm going to turn it up. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to turn it up. I'm not, and here's why. Because I want you to experience what it would sound like if I just sent it, if I sent it just like that. In fact, that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to open. I'm going to close this, close, and I'm going to go back to ElevenLabs. If you have the tools, use them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had that and I was going to, and I wanted to send my very best, I would turn those levels up just a little bit, give it like raise it up to like maybe -3 or something like that, so that it's got a good sample to work from. But let's listen to In a Pinch. And I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think it's going to turn out good. Okay. I need to go here and then here. Okay. And now I'm on ElevenLabs voice changer screen and I am going to choose the voice explore. David, epic movie. Great voice. One of the very first voices I ever used. The very first voice I ever used was Grandpa Spuds. That was the very first. How are we doing on time? About halfway done. Okay. Very first voice I ever used was Grandpa Spuds. But David Epic Movie Trailer, now called David Movie Trailer Narrator, is an excellent one. Let's open up Simon's voiceover. Simon, you saved the day by sending this. Now notice, when I go to use David, he's 3 times the rate. But I don't do like huge projects. So I never like that never slows me down, when it comes to selecting a voice because I'm not making novels. I'm not making a series of novels. I'm not making 10. If I was making 10 novels, I might think twice about using one of the premium, the ones that have the higher rate for their voice. But for the stuff I do, I don't even look. I'm just like, I want it. That's the voice I want it. So again, reset values. I've loaded Simon. I hit generate speech.
In a world where your couch is older than your marriage, one man dared to ask, What if sitting down felt like a victory? This summer, Riverside Furniture is changing everything. Sectionals that command the room, dining tables built for legends, bedrooms set so good you'll never want to leave.
So good, man.
Riverside Furniture. 3 locations across the valley.
Oh my gosh.
RiversideFurnitureExample.com. Your next chapter starts with a great seat.
I have chills right now, Simon. Like that was a great performance. And that is, I'm glad that I used Simon's example since he has an English accent to point out that when you, okay, so let me show you what David sounds like on his own.
In a world where AI voices sound like robots, one man makes it sound epic.
So the Simon performance still had the English accent because the performance stays the same. And I know that sometimes you're like, oh, I wanted to switch to the other accent, to the accent of the voice that I picked. I get it. But it's kind of like either you get the performance or you don't get the performance. And by performance, I mean the way you paused, the way you were intense. Like with Voice Changer, you can take a voice that you go, ooh, I love the tone of this person's voice, but I wish they were being serious. And they're being playful. You can choose a voice that sounds like this, and then you can perform with the voice like this, which is so awesome. So the performance stays and the tone of the voice, the sound, the tone is imprinted on your performance. So for fun, let's listen to Simon's original, by the way.
In a world.
Oh my gosh. Like he's way off mic.
In a world where your couch is older than your marriage, one man dared to ask, what if sitting down felt like a victory?
You guys, that final performance is broadcast ready. That final performance could be used on a commercial. Like you could go to the movies and you could hear that could be up on the big screen and you could hear it and you wouldn't think twice. You wouldn't go, who recorded this? You wouldn't even think twice. And he's way off of his mic and you can hear, the reflection bouncing off the desk or whatever.
In a world where your couch is older than your
And it's really quiet.
one man dared to ask, what if sitting down felt like a victory?
Now I'm kind of like, now Simon, go record that on your microphone so that people can hear. But if you want to hear Simon's voice, you can hear it on ElevenLabs. Yeah, he's definitely got pipes for sure. But that mic on his webcam was not picking up those pipes, and we still got this result.
In a world where your couch is older than your marriage, one man dared to ask, what if sitting down felt like a victory? This summer,
I think if I didn't have my background, if I didn't have my career in radio, if I didn't have the connections that I have, and they're not, I'm in a small town, talking to you guys is the biggest thing I've ever done. Presenting to a global audience is the biggest thing I've ever done. But I've got my network in my town, so I have a path to a career making money and income. But if all I had was my phone and an ElevenLabs account, I'd be like, I can make commercials for people. I'm ready right now. It doesn't matter that I've never done this before. It doesn't matter that I don't know anybody. I would make a few. I'd throw them up on a social media. I'd throw 15. I'd make 15. I'd throw them up on social media, and then I'd start either running ads promoting myself or whatever, but saying, hey, if you are in my town, I mean, you could do it globally, but sometimes, it's all about like thinking of the way to like package it that makes people go, oh, now I'm interested. So maybe I would say, hey, I'm in this town, and if you're a small business would like to have commercials that sound like this, I'm your guy, hit me up. And I don't even need a studio, because let's do this. Let's go to first of all, we're going to download the final performance. I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to go final furniture. I hope that when I do these parts here, it's not like, Brad, too slow. But Anyway, I like it. If I was watching it, I'd like it. Okay. So now I'm over to music and I'm going to go, what do I want to say? I'm going to go 30 seconds. Actually, I better do 30 is fine. And I'm going to go instrumental and I'm going to do One Generation and I'm going to go background track for an epic movie trailer promo. Generate. Rise of the Protector. If you're on your phone, you probably didn't hear that because it's just a low thing. I'm going to probably start it here. Awesome. So remember, I was in a store in another state and somebody said, "Hey, are you in your studio today?" I was like, "No, dang it, I'm not." "Oh, okay, never mind. Wait, hang on. Send me the script. Let me see what I can do." Everything I'm showing you right here, I could do on my phone. I'd rather do it on my computer, but I could do this on my phone. What screen am I showing you guys right now? I'm showing you. Okay, cool. So let's go back to Adobe Audition. Simon's like, listen to how bad my original was too. It's so much better with David. All right. Let's go to Adobe Audition. And I'm going to start a multi-track. Temp. Simon Furniture. Oh, I did mono. Oh, well. Let's go back to that folder and find, here's the final audio, and here is the bed. And like I told you, okay, let me get rid of these other tracks. Track, delete, empty tracks. And now make it big. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start it right here because that first part would be pretty quiet on a cell phone because it was all kind of like low stuff. If you heard it in a movie theater, it'd be awesome. Turn this down just a little bit, and then and again, I didn't make my bed long enough. Oh well. I would I be able to do it with this much like finesse if I was in my car and I didn't have my computer? No, but could I do it? Could I chop the voice parts up, make them nice and tight, and put music behind it on an app on my phone in my car? Absolutely. So I'm going to add a little delay on it too.
In a world where your couch is older than...
Like, you tell me, could someone, not just someone, but anyone, could anyone do what I'm doing right here? I'd argue yes. Could they do like this step that I'm doing right here? If you've never edited audio before, I only know this because people always say, "Whoa, you're really fast at that." You believe me, if you started playing with a software like this, you'd get fast at it too. Just go for it. But anyone could do. I'm going to show you one more thing in music, by the way. Okay, so there it is. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it before I do. Okay, this ended up being almost 30 seconds. So I'm just going to go back to, watch this. Sorry that I'm showing you music again instead of showing you voice changer. But let's go back to ElevenLabs. Oh, what have I done? Sorry. Give me that screen. Oh my goodness, why is that not working? There we go. Okay, back to ElevenLabs. And I'm going to go to that music track, open project, and I'm going to say, I like to test it. Give me a 31-second version. This time, make sure it hits full right at the start. And maybe it will. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll end up embarrassing myself because it doesn't do exactly what I had in mind. But I swear that's how I talk to music, and I usually get what I want. Okay, let's download that. .30 version. I like to keep the original title in there too, in case I don't know why, but I like to put the thing that I'll remember on the front end of it. Okay, now I gotta drag back to Adobe Audition, and I'm gonna remove that music bed, and I'm gonna drop in the 30 version. I'm gonna move this just a little bit so that it hits, and then Simon/David starts talking. And look, I might have to drag this just a little bit, maybe to like right there, stretch it out a little bit. And I'm going to turn it down some. I might end up turning it down a little bit more like that too. Here we go.
In a world where your couch is older than your marriage, one man dared to ask, what if sitting down felt like a victory? This summer, Riverside Furniture is...
That effect that I chose, a little much. That's a little much. Let's go with something else.
In a world where your couch is older than your marriage, one man dared to ask, what if sitting down felt like a victory? This summer, Riverside Furniture is changing everything. Sectionals that command the room, dining tables built for legends, bedrooms set so good you'll never want to leave. Riverside Furniture, 3 locations across the valley. RiversideFurnitureExample.com. Your next chapter starts with a great seat.
Awesome, right? Tell me that if I send that from my car, that in that situation, it was a close friend, so I was able to, let me go full screen for a second. In that situation, it was a close friend, so I was able to be straight up with her and go, guess what I did? And she was like, whoa, I can't believe it. That's so cool. That sounds great. But I didn't have to tell her that. I could have been like, yep. Hey, are you in your studio today? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. What's your Venmo? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And anyone watching this right now, no matter your experience, could start a business like that. Let me get rid of a couple of things on here. I don't need that anymore. Cool. What else can I show you guys? We have about 20 minutes left on this one. Anybody got any anything they want to try? Anything they want to hear? I've got other, here, I'll bring something up right now. Let me go back to Adobe Audition. I'll close this out, close all. And I'm going to drag in this one called Radio Commercial. Find its session. There it is. Okay. Everything on this ad, everything was made with ElevenLabs. Sound effects, music, voices. The voices are all voice changer. I did the performance of, let me think. It's got a wife, a husband, a kid, and an announcer. Ready?
Honey,
Yeah?
did you start the bathtub and then forget about it?
No.
Are you sure?
Huh. Maybe I did.
When accidents happen, remember to call 11 Cleaning and Restoration.
And that's the kind of thing that when I first got into radio, I would have absolutely done that ad all by myself without ElevenLabs. I just would have gone more cartoony with it. I would have been like, honey,
Yes, dear?
Dad, what? You know, I would have done, and then like, and now I'm the announcer. I would have done that, and maybe I would have pitched myself down a little bit for the announcer, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, that was fun doing that. But it was definitely more cartoony, and this was a pretty cartoony ad. But for me to be able to do it with ElevenLabs, I'm telling you, when I found ElevenLabs and I started playing with Voice Changer, I just got hooked, and I now create with it every single day. Every single day. I've if you've watched any of my content before, maybe you've heard me say in interviews or whatever. If there's anything bad I can say about ElevenLabs, it's that my quality of sleep has gotten has lowered because I now wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning with an idea of something I want to go make with ElevenLabs. Like I can't wait to get up and go, create with ElevenLabs. Um, Let me see. Are we still talking to each other? And anything else that you want to are we still good? Like everybody still seeing me? Because I don't know if you know this. I'm not looking at X or at YouTube or at LinkedIn. I'm looking at my streaming software, and it's feeding me your yeah. I think you're still seeing everything. Anything else that you guys want to see? Do you want me to do a couple of like voices live and convert my voice live? Oh, what up to Brian? Says appreciate the channel and the live stream. Let me say I would love it if you followed me at Hey It's Brad _USA. I am constantly posting new videos and showing different ideas that I had for something that I wanted to create. Let me show you. Okay, Simon asks, how do you find the similarity and style exaggeration sliders affect the performance in the voice changer? For example, can it make me sound more American? I have not tried to use voice changer like that. It might nudge it a little bit if the you probably have more experience doing that than I do, Simon. With those sliders, so I don't know the answer to that. I'll tell you what I would do if I had this guy come to me, and he had a Hindi accent, and he says to me, I want to voice, like I make documentaries, and I want the voice to be my voice, but I want to sound like but I want to speak English, and I want to sound like I speak English better than I do. See if you can follow that. He English is a second or third or fourth language for him, and he's like, I wish I spoke it, more fluently, or I wish that the way I said the words were more correct. But I do want my voice on the project. How can I do that? And I'm sure there's another way, but here's what I thought of. I said, create a voice clone, either a professional voice clone or an instant voice clone. Try with an instant voice clone first. So you only have to do like 5 minutes audio or whatever. Create a voice clone, then go find a voice on the platform that is a Hindi accent but speaking English, and create the audio. This is a little crazy. Create the audio with that voice, then take that recording and feed it back into Voice Changer, into your newly created voice. So it will still have the accent of that person, but it'll have your voice. It'll have your tone. And we did it, and he got the dumbest smile on his face. I say that lovingly. I would say the same thing about myself. And I did. I probably got the dumbest smile on my face, just like a little kid. Like, oh my gosh, what? It was such an amazing moment. I got chills thinking about it. Such an amazing moment. And I don't know if then he went on to use ElevenLabs in a new way that that I hadn't thought of, but it was really cool. Okay, let me look and see. Same question as Simon. Okay, cool. I think I addressed that. Brian's like, How much are you making per month by licensing your voice on ElevenLabs? No, it's a highly personal question. Forgive me if it's inappropriate. I'll tell you this. I will tell you this, and I actually said this in a video. Um, I think I was 2 months in. No, because the video said I was 3 weeks in. I was 3 weeks in. 3 weeks in, and in those 3 weeks, I had created 3 voices. So maybe the first week was only one voice, and then the second and third week added 2 more voices. 3 weeks in, first week, I made $35. Second week, I made $25. Third week, I made $250. And I couldn't believe it. When I, and now we're talking about voice clones instead of voice changer for a second. But when I found out I could add my voice to the platform, I was like, wait a minute, what? Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And people said to me like, oh man, that's got to be hard to decide. Do you want anyone to be able to use your voice? And I would say, no, that's really easy for me to decide, because the reality is there's a lot of shady ways out there that anybody could use your voice. If they really dig around, and I think you probably know examples, that I'm talking about. But with ElevenLabs, everything is, a contract, and everything, like I see, do I want people to not be able to, do I want to filter the kind of stuff that they can use my voice for? Or do I want to let them use it for anything that ElevenLabs is cool with? Because ElevenLabs does have certain criteria that they're like, no, nobody can make this kind of stuff with voices on our platform. So it's got that protection. But then there's a further one where you go, I don't want people talking about sensitive stuff with my voices. And so you can click that if you want to. So I've got some control that way. So the question to me wasn't, are you okay with allowing people to use your voice? Because the answer to that is you can't stop anyone on shady places from using your voice. The question is, are you okay with sometimes being paid when people use your voice? The sometimes being every time they use ElevenLabs. And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. And when I started in radio, when I did radio, I was on air doing a daily show or whatever. I wasn't so much about, I did commercial voiceover every day too for local clients, for local small businesses, but I wasn't really being a voice actor, around the country or around the world yet. And every time I would bring that concept up to a friend who was kind of doing okay, that they were a station voice for a radio station or whatever, I'm like, man, like I don't know if I could be as good as you at it, but I think I could be good at it. Like what do I need to do to get started? And the answer I got, even from friends sometimes, was like, yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard to get into this. Like you have to know somebody, and you got to put in your time. You got to, you know, do these kinds of jobs for a few years before you can do the cool jobs. And when I found ElevenLabs and the opportunity to be a voice in the voice marketplace available for all their users to tap into and to add to their projects, I was like, I don't have to wait. I can think of a voice right now myself that I think would make a great voice. Like the first one I ever made was this voice, or was it quite like that? This is Q108. It's a voice called, it's called Guy Radio TV Promo Serious. Yeah, if you search Guy Radio TV Promo Serious, it's this voice, and he doesn't ever sound like he's talking to his kids or to his wife. He's just always in this delivery. That was the first voice I ever made. And because I think that was the voice that I always dreamed of making available to radio stations and other creators around the world. But I thought, oh no, I can't. I'd have to do all of this, and I can't move to Hollywood, and I can't buy that training seminar for $3,000 to learn how to make the demo right. Oh, don't just make a demo and put it out there. You got to find somebody who knows how to make a demo so you can get it out there so it sounds pro, because you're not going to get hired if you make your own demo. I didn't have to put up with that anymore. People call it gatekeeping. I'm past the gate, but now I've closed it, and no, you're not worthy of coming in. I was like, we'll see about that. I'll record this voice, I'll put it up on ElevenLabs, and we'll let the world decide if my voice sounds good in their scripts or not. And then I had an idea for a true crime voice, which is similar to that voice. Actually, no, it's not. You might think it's similar because, you're not as familiar with my voice as I am, but the true crime voice, what does the sample say? It says something like, Rebecca Johnson. Rebecca Johnson was found. Rebecca Johnson. The last time Rebecca Johnson was seen was walking into a Salt Lake City parking garage. The next morning, she vanished. So there's this guy. He's like this, and then the true crime voice is like this. And so then I made a voice called True Crime. And now, guess what? That true crime voice is my number one voice on the platform. And I made it from the heart. I made it as a human. I'm a human, and I thought this is the read. It needs to sound like this. And there might have been somebody who would have said, no, you're doing it wrong. I know there would have been. I know if I would have tried to get on somebody's roster with that voice, they would have said, yeah, but this guy's better. Can you do it more? Yeah, keep trying, buddy. Keep trying. Send me something. I'll let you know. Nope. No waiting for that. There it is. Put it out there. I go on social media and I say, hey guys, I made this voice. Want to go use it? Brian's like, ElevenLabs allows me to have 2 clone voices eligible for receiving income. How do you get more? You can start. I know people that start new accounts to get more. And then also, I don't think this is in any. And again, I don't work for ElevenLabs. I just use it. I just love it and use it. I'm an ElevenLabs ambassador, but I don't work for ElevenLabs. But I don't know if this is any official documentation. I don't know if they prompt when you get marked studio quality, we give you another slot for a PVC. I don't know if that's official or if it's just something that they're doing for now while they're, and then maybe one day they'll have enough voices and they stop doing that. I don't know. But at the point that I started, every time you got, it used to be called HQ and now it's called Studio. And every time you got Studio, you got another slot. So that's how I got more. Well, you guys, 4 minutes left. Is there anything that I didn't talk about that you want to see? Do you want to see me switch myself into, let's do it real quick. I'm going to switch myself into my favorite voices on ElevenLabs. I won't have time to do all of them, but I'll do a few of them. Let's go with Simon. We might as well hear what I sound like when I do, when I'm Simon. But again, it's going to have my accent, not Simon's. Here we go. Brad version. Oh, dang it. I can't remember. I've got it a little bit. I wandered lonely through the clouds over something in vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. A host of golden daffodils. Did I make it so that you guys are looking at Adobe Audition? Yes, I did. So now I'm going to, I can't remember. Now I'm going to turn it up to -3. I like to turn it up to -3 to send a decent signal. And I'm going to save that into there, called Brad version. And then I'm going to make it so you guys can see ElevenLabs. Go back to voice changer. Probably only have time to do Simon's, but that's okay. Ambassador demo, Brad version, upload. So there's my version. I wandered lonely through the clouds. I know I didn't get it right, but Christopher Gentle. Here's the real sample.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils.
I was close. I was pretty close. So there's the voice I want. I select it. And again, see these sliders? I bet when I hit reset values, those are going to slide. Ready? Here we go. Yep. See, the stability went down. But again, I want to know, engineers, hit me up. Let me know if you're like, Brad, it does that on purpose. Quit hitting reset values. We did it that way so it'll sound better. I don't know. Anyway, so now I'm going to generate it.
I wandered lonely through the clouds, over something in vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils.
See, and I hear that and I go, that's a great voice. And here's the other thing about voice changer. I should have said this right up front, but I guess it's a good way to finish strong. Some people go, oh, I wanted it to stay British though. But it changed to this other thing. I get it. I get it. But you know what I just created right there? A completely original voice. In fact, here's my argument. That voice that I just created right there is 100% human. 50% of it is me. 50% of it is Simon. We'll throw in some percentages of the human engineers who made it all possible. Let's do that. Let's go 30, 30, 30. 30% me on the performance, 30% Simon on the voice and the tone, and 30% on the, or 33.3 or whatever, on the engineers that made it all possible. And that voice right there to me is 100% human. And if I decide to start a channel, YouTube channel, and that's my narrator voice, I can create with it all day long. I can provide the sample audio for it, turn it into the voice that gets imprinted onto mine. I got that in the right order, yes. And there, who knows? There might be people around the world going, hey, does anybody know whose voice this is? I want to use this voice in my product. Maybe they know it's because that gets asked all the time, probably about voices that aren't even AI created, about like original. Hey, does anybody know whose voice this is or whatever? Something totally original through using voice changer. Let me just say, I am so grateful to ElevenLabs. I told you that that it like opened the gate for me. The gate was closed. ElevenLabs opened the gate. Let me do my reads, my voices, that my characters that I believed in, and put them out there for other people to use. And now people are using them. And now this is my professional life. Like ElevenLabs is my professional life now. In a lot of different areas that I love making social media marketing. I do. I love making radio content. But doing it with ElevenLabs has really become my life. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for the friends that I've made through ElevenLabs, like going to conferences or, like meetups or whatever. I love it. So I can't wait to do more. Simon says, we made a beautiful baby, Brad, when we combined our voices. Anyway, Thank you guys so much. This was awesome. And follow me on YouTube and LinkedIn and X and Instagram. Hey, it's Brad _ USA. I've got, if you haven't seen any of my content yet, there's a lot to watch. And if you, if you go on YouTube and you scroll to where the playlists are, I will separate them out by like these videos are about voice changer, and these videos are about me introducing you to voices that maybe you haven't heard, but that I like and that I like to use, and a playlist about okay, are you ready to record your voice and join the voice library? Here are some recommendations I have for you. That's all on my YouTube. Hey, it's Brad _ USA. Thank you so much, you guys. That was fun doing my first live stream.